I am not a baller. As hard as that is to believe based on what I say on my other YouTube videos about being a baller and doing things for money, that is a 100% not the case. It is pure, for some of you, just entertainment. And I bet for some of you, it's super offensive and you probably hate my guts, which I guess is okay. It's unfortunate you don't have a sense of humor. But anyway, I'm not a baller. I work a lot, I work hard, and it took me quite a while to have success, I guess, and be able to purchase all the gear that I have with my own hard-earned money. And by working hard, I don't mean owning 3 nail salons. I really don't own 3 nail salons. Even though I look like I might own 3 nail salons, I don't. Or, I don't have a sweatshop in the basement of my house, sewing fake Nikes and stuff like that. That's not true. Definitely not the case. This actually is my basement. It's the bottom floor of my house, okay? I have a regular full-time job. I'm not gonna discuss what I do for a regular full-time job living. I have bills to pay, I have a mortgage, I have a wife, I have a baby daughter. She's 1 year old. You can probably see some videos of her on my YouTube channel. I have responsibilities like everyone else. And I also do videography. It's almost another full-time job, to be quite honest with you. You're probably wondering right now, why isn't this dude editing his wedding videos right now? Well, it is, let me see what time it is. It is 1 a.m. Eastern time right now, okay? For me to edit wedding videos, I need chunks of time. I can't just sit down for half an hour and start editing a wedding video and just turn it off. So I try to use this time when my daughter is asleep, my wife is asleep, I try to create a YouTube video. It takes about half an hour or so for me to talk some gibberish, edit, load up, and just create, do something different, try to grow my online presence. And I don't even know if I'm doing it the right way. A lot of stuff I say, people probably think it's very serious, but I'm just joking around, okay? I got that out of the way. I'm not a baller. I work really hard. Probably not as hard as some other people who work very, very hard, but I think I work pretty hard to get where I am and to have what I have. Everyone's situation is different. We all have different situations, we live, different things. So this might not apply for everyone. But here, if you feel like you have the same situation as me, this might help you out in terms of how go about acquiring gear to build your business or your freelancing, whatever you want to call it, okay? So when I started off, I had one camera. I bought it just for personal use. It was a Sony Nex 6, okay? I've always been Sony. I've used Sony since I began my videography journey back in 2014. Before that, I never touched the camera. The only art background I have is drawing, painting, and stuff like that, studio art type stuff, since I was like 5, 6 years old through high school, okay? So that's where my creativity comes from, is actually like visual drawing and painting. So bought that, and clearly I got carried away, edited a couple videos, and people liked it and said I should try to do professionally, and that's what I did. I bought that camera with my own money from working my full-time job. And then I bought like a 50mm f1.8 lens because I started learning about bokeh and aperture and all that. So I wanted f1.8 lens. So I bought a 50, it was like about 150 bucks. Or maybe it was like 200 bucks, 250 or something like that. So that was my first artsy lens. And I slowly built up from there to all of this. So how do you go about doing this properly? I mean, there's no proper way. If you want to really start straight up opening a gangster business right away, you just take out a big loan and you buy everything all at once. I didn't do that. I did the freelance route where I just slowly gathered gear. Okay, so shot a couple weddings. I got a couple. I did a few free ones, to build a portfolio, and then started doing some cheaper ones. Definitely a lot less than what I should be charging for. Based on, I guess, my skills, but I had to showcase the skills somehow. So I need to build a portfolio. So I did cheap weddings. With that, after I got these cheap weddings using like relatively, I don't want to say low end gear. It's pretty high end gear, but like, you know, I only had like, I had A6 300, a couple of those, and then I had a 50, an 18 105. Lenses I bought with my own money, out of my own pocket. Okay. So I started getting booked. You know, when you get booked like way out in the future. You get booked like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in the future, and you know, you get a certain amount of money with it. So you know you're about to get paid a certain amount of money based on your booking. So you could either stick with the same gear you have and say, hey, I'm gonna try to save up money, right, to buy this gear later. Or you could try to get the gear now so that when you actually finally get to these gigs that you have lined up, your product should be a lot better. You know, and it's really based on how much trust you have in yourself. If you know you could like, if you just had like this one lens, you know, like the 7200 or 2470 or like this 50 f1.4, you know, if you had that lens, you'll get the look that you really want versus, you know, shooting with a 18-105 f4. Maybe you should try to get that lens because you know that you can do that much better of a job on these gigs with this better gear. And I know gear is not everything, but you cannot tell me there's expensive lens out there that you know you cannot do like just a better job with versus what you have. So I looked at that and I say, okay, I'm about to make this kind of money here going forward. I could definitely afford it later, but I can't afford it now. What do I do? There's a lot of things, okay? What I utilized was PayPal credit. PayPal credit, and there's probably a lot of other cards out there that allows you, you know, you get 0% financing for 6 months, okay? For anything that you purchase over $100. And this is if you have good credit. I'm Asian, all Asian people for the most part, if they're raised right, which is, you know, if you got to, by raised right, I mean, if you got like a C or B or like an A minus, you get B, okay? You get beat, and if you get a 95%, you get slapped. If you get 100%, you get good job, and I'll get 105% next time, okay? If you're raised that way, you probably have good credit, all right? So if you have good credit and all that stuff, you could get these loans, or not, it's not really loans, it's a credit, it's like, you know, so you go B&H. B&H takes PayPal, and you wanna get that 7200 lens, right? You buy it on that, it's 0% financing. And let's say that lens is like $2,000. You buy it for $2,000. You have 6 months to pay this $2,000. You know that in the next 6 months, you have a certain amount of gigs, okay? Let's say you have 5 weddings the next 6 months for $1,000 each. This is on the cheap end. This is if you are graduating from being a Craigslist shooter. That's $5,000 you know you're gonna have. That $2,000, you're gonna take this PayPal credit loan out with no interest, and you have this 7200 that you will get to use on these 5 projects versus doing 2 projects without it and being, you know, slightly subpar, slightly, you know, not as good as you'd like. Or you could have the lens right away and your portfolio is better. You're investing. Think about it as investing in your product, okay? I know, like I said, gear is not everything. But if gear is not everything, people would just be filming everything with their cell phones or something. Their gear is something, okay? And if you can invest in the gear ahead of time to be able to shoot the gigs properly, to maximize your skills and to maximize your footage that you're able to get with your gear, you know, you go that route, okay? And you know, I know I have affiliate links. A lot of these other YouTubers, they have affiliate links on there, and it's all to like Amazon and stuff like that. And those are all full price. You know, you have to utilize sales. You know, don't be afraid of buying pre-owned stuff. You know, a lot of people are very afraid of eBay, but I don't know if people realize eBay is very buyer friendly. So they protect the buyer. When you buy stuff from an eBay seller, they have ratings. You know, don't buy anything from like bad rated eBayers. You buy from really high rated eBayers, and sometimes you get really good deals. You know, you get saved like $200-300 on lenses. You know, I was able to save like $100 on an eBay lens because eBay was running like a promotion, like 20% off promo code or something like that. And these sellers ship very fast because they know they need to ship fast or else they're going to get a bad feedback rating. And on eBay, feedback rating is everything. So like, don't be afraid of looking for the deals, buying pre-owned, and maximizing sales. You know, Green Toe, you could go in there and put on a bid, greentoe.com, put on a bid for like new lenses somewhere, and you know, you could easily save $100, $50, whatever it is. You know, it might not seem like a lot, but you could take that $50, $100, buy some, you know, 128 gigabyte SD cards or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, every little bit you save adds up. You know, another thing you could do too, you could make sure you sell off your gear. If you're not using something, sell it off, whether it be eBay. You know, you're gonna take a 13% hit on whatever you sell it for, but sell it on Facebook, sell it Craigslist, whatever. Sell your gear that you're not using. Old gear is like, you know, douchey acquaintances. You know, if they're not doing anything good in your life, you ditch them. Like, just get rid of it. You know, at least you can make money off the gear. You make your money back off the gear versus, you know, you ditch douchey acquaintances. You just have a dirty taste in your mouth that you just gotta slowly forgive and forget and get rid of. But that's neither here nor there. You know, spend your money wisely. You know, be smart. Take some time, invest some time in getting good prices. You know, don't just walk into Best Buy and just buy an A7 III, or Canon whatever, or Pana small sensor GH5. Don't just go into Best Buy and buy this stuff because you're gonna have to pay taxes. You know, you're gonna have to pay tax on a $2,000 item. If you don't live in New York and, you know, you live in Maryland like me, you order from B&H, you don't have to pay taxes. I don't know if that's gonna change soon, but you know, you buy it, you get free shipping, it ships to your house the next day, and you don't have to pay, in my case, 6% sales tax. 6% sales tax on a $2,000 camera is a lot of money. Okay, so with that savings, it's probably like $100 some bucks or whatever. I should know it in the top of my head because clearly I should be good at math, but I can't figure that out real quick. I could probably buy like an SD card with the money I save from not paying taxes. So like, you got to look into all these little things where you can save money on. You know, like, I would say half of my gear is probably used lens. My 35 f1.4 is a pre-owned lens. My 90mm f2.8 macro was a pre-owned lens. I believe I got my 50 f1.4 off of Green Toe. Putting in a bid, I saved like $300 on that thing. And I believe my my G Master lenses, my 2470 and my 7200, I think they're international lenses. I don't think they are legit USA lenses, but it's the same dang thing. I just don't have warranty on it. I took the risk. They've been working fine for me, but like, it's like little things like that that helps you save money on gear. You know, don't just like go buying everything on Amazon. You know, it's not always cheapest. You know, you gotta pay, a lot of times you gotta pay taxes on Amazon, and it's the full retail price of the product. You know, just be smart about it. And like I said, sell stuff that you don't need, you know, and slowly build your gear. And, you know, also, you know, again, look for 0% financing options. And if you don't have good enough credit for to do that kind of stuff, I really don't know how to help you. You just got to build it back up and slowly acquire it with cash. Or, you know, even it might be worth it if, you know, if you have to pay a little bit of interest on something. You know, let's say you know, it did take you 4, 5, 6 months to pay off a loan to buy gear, but you have all these gigs ahead. It's worth the investment if you trust yourself that you could build a solid portfolio using the gear you bought on credit. Okay, that's it. I mean, you know, you don't have to take out these massive loans to start the business. Is what, you know, to be a videographer, you know, as long as you have the skills, it seems like you could probably, let's say you did a highlight you did a highlight package where the couple knows that they're going to only get like a 3 to 4 minute film. You could probably get away with the Alpha 6300. Yes, I said Sony because Sony is the gangster stuff, you know. I'm not going to recommend Panasonic or Canon because I'm a Sony fanboy. But in generally speaking, like a lot of this advice applies to any camera brand. You could have an Alpha 6300 and like a Crane M gimbal, which is about $300. Is A6300 is probably about, you could probably get it pre-owned about $600-700. And get a 35mm f1.8 pre-owned, probably another $300. And let's see what else you would get. And maybe a wide angle lens, like a 16mm pancake or a 20mm pancake lens for around like $200. And to shoot a highlight video, that's really all you need. Okay, and maybe you could have one of these Sony recorders here. If you want to get some audio from the ceremony, you just lav up the groom real quick with the Sony recorders. About $60 right here. And this is what I use. I have 2 of these, so I use them for groom. So what is that? You got the camera, $600. You got a lens, $300. You got a gimbal, $300. That's $1,200. And then you have another lens for $200. So let's say like you could, for under $1,500, you can go start filming weddings, highlight weddings. You know, as long as the client knows what to get, and if you are skilled enough, $1,500, that's it. You go out there and let's say, you know, you could easily charge at least $1,000 to go film a wedding. Maybe 8 hours coverage, edit it, build your portfolio, and then from there start building up, you know, all your gear. And if you want a second angle cam, you know, you could probably just get a Alpha 5100 or something, you know, for like $400, and have that as a second cam somewhere, you know, to get a different angle. But definitely under $1,500. You know, if you want to push it a little bit, definitely under $2,000, you could start freelancing and filming people's weddings and making some cash to you know, have fun. You know what I mean? Like, I do filmmaking and I do weddings and stuff like that because I actually enjoy doing it. I'm passionate about it. I want to improve, and I enjoy the storytelling elements. I enjoy being creative. I enjoy creating. That's what I do it. Like I said before, I don't do this for money. Yes, the cash helps me. It helps my family. You know, it helps me pay for my baby's daycare and all those things. But I'm not a baller, and I work really hard, and I'm passionate about my work. And that's it. Okay. I'm getting the sense right now that this video is not as funny as my last ones, and I'm sorry that it's boring, but it's something I just wanted to kind of put out there because for some reason I started feeling bad about what I said, and some of it was like, oh, being a baller, you know, doing things to make money and stuff, and that's really not the case. I was just saying that to be funny, a stick, and that's about it. I hope this rambling helps somebody. Until next time, lighten up.